Well, good morning guys, and welcome back to another video. Totally different conditions today. It's lovely. I've got my further jacket on. The temperature's a lot cooler. We've lost those blue skies and it's lovely and overcast, and not only that, we're getting some really nice fall colour now. Similar to last time, a lot of the trees are starting to be a bit sparse because they've dried out because of the hot summer, so some of those leaves have already fallen off. But you'll have seen in my last video where we got to conquer the leaves, so the benefit here is as much on the ground as they do up in the trees themselves. You can always make and create an image. So that's what I want to look more of for today. I want to look for more of those smaller scenes, detail shots within Stanley Park itself. Now you've probably seen that I've been using the 1:400 GM quite a lot. Now that's my go-to lens when I do abstract stuff. It's brilliant, it's really sharp. I can get it close and really focus in on the finer details. Now I have got other lenses with us today. I've got the Sony 35mm 1.4 GM, and I've also got the 14mm 1.8, so I use them for video work on my Sony a6600, because mainly today I'm going to be focusing on abstract. So that's what I'm in Stanley Park for today. I'm going to be looking for those smaller scenes, things out the ordinary. Remember in my last video I photographed that charred tree. It made an image, it was interesting. It had some lovely highlights, some lovely textures there, and I thought it made for a great shot. So the first area I'm going to look for today, I'm going to look on the side of tree stumps and look at the bark, see what forms and shapes that we can see. So I'll get back to my bag and we'll get on these trails, we'll have a look about. So I hope you enjoy the rest of today's video. So I think I came across my first image. Now it has got a little bit brighter, we're getting breaks in the sun every now and again, but it's really overcast, so hopefully that sunshine doesn't get too bright today. But you'll remember in my last video I was saying about look for things out of the ordinary, and this surely stood out to us when I was searching around this tree for the composition. Now what I've noticed is the side of this bark, there's some lovely darks and lights, some lovely shapes there, but in the centre, to my eyes, it looked like an eagle's head when I first looked at it. You can see the head and it looks like a beak. So I'm going to go in round about 180mm. You'll be able to see how close I am to this tree, and I'm focused in at 180mm, so it's really amazing how close you can get to subjects. And I want to be able to capture all that detail and get it nice and sharp. I always try and get them nice and sharp, especially when it's tree bark. So I'm going to get back, get this shot, and I hope you like it. Well, I got that image and I hope you liked it. Nice image to start the day. Now, I said to you about looking around these old stumps. I've came to a stump which is next to the tree I've just photographed. It's crazy what you can see if you open your mind and look in a bit closer. So I've came to this area of tree here and I've had a good look round it, but the more I've looked in, I've came across there's a bit of an opening in the tree where it's rotted away inside, and as the bark leads its way in, it's formed this shape of a face. It stuck out like a sore thumb when I got on a certain angle, because you had the dark shadows behind it and just the outline and the textures of this bark. You can see the chin, you can see the mouth, the nose, the eye, and just at the top there's like a little quiff which looks like a hairline, and I think it just looks really definitely out of the ordinary, and it's more of the stuff that I like to come across. Now, it's not a pretty image, but it's a good example of what you can find within nature itself. It's natural, it's a natural subject, and I think it'll be great to photograph. I'm going to be taking this shot with the 1:400. I don't need a polarizer. The light's really nice and balanced today, and there's just some nice lights and nice browns in there. There is a bit of debris, so what I've done, I've given it a blow. Good idea to bring a brush with you, and then you can clear out any debris like pine needles and sand or dirt or anything like that, but I haven't brought that with us today. But I've just given it a good blow and it seems to have cleared a lot of that dirt. Now, the reason I do that, I want to save myself work when I come to editing the image. I don't want to do a lot to my images. I don't like to do a lot to them. I like to keep them as natural as possible, just like this shape on the side of this bark. So I'm going to get back, get this shot, and I hope you like it. Well, as you can see, I'm actually down on the coast now. I wanted to see if I could capture an image here on the coast before I ventured a bit further into the forest. Now, the tide's actually, it went out, but it's slowly making its way back in. Now, any of the logs that I wanted to explore, they've actually been submerged in water now. But I've been wandering along this coastline before that water does come in, and I've always been attracted to the kelp and the seaweed. There's some lovely textures and colours there. So I've really scoured this area, trying to find a composition and trying to find a subject within all this interest. Now, what I realised as I was walking up the coastline, because the edge of the forest is right above the beach, I realised that a lot of the leaves have fallen on the beach. So what I wanted a leaf that was exposed and that was actually in amongst the kelp. So I found a leaf, and it's a beautiful leaf. It's got some really nice colour. It's well formed, so it hasn't been eaten away by insects or anything like that. And it's stuck to the top of this seaweed and the kelp. So I've got to be careful on top of this kelp and the seaweed. It is super slippy. Now, you'll be able to see all this interesting texture, colour, and the way that this leaf, because it's fallen from the forest just behind camera there, it's fallen in a way on top of this kelp that it's actually stuck to it, but it's facing upwards. And the contrast in colour compared to the browns and the greens, you've just got this lovely yellowy orange in the centre. And I've put the leaf so it's on a slight angle, it's going from left to right, and then you're just going to have the colours of the kelp and the seaweed around that leaf along with the colour on the leaf. It's really nice and it really pops and it really stands out. I've put the polarizer, there's quite a lot of sheen because that kelp and the seaweed's really wet, I put the polarizer on. Now it's not taking all that sheen off, but it is reducing some of it, and it's also adding colour and contrast at the same time. So that's the image I'm going to go for. It's probably going to be my only image on the beach because the tide is on its way in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this shot, make our way back onto the trails and see if we can come across anything else within the forest. So I've made my way back up from the coast. It got a bit gloomy down there, but we have got those broken skies again, so it's brightened up once again. Now, I wasn't so sure if the seaweed shot would work out. There was quite a lot of glare there, and the polarizer just didn't get rid of as much as I would have liked. But it's always worth trying. I just loved the way the leaf had fallen on the seaweed and the kelp, so I decided to take the shot. Now I've came back close towards Stanley Park. Now I'm on some trail networks here, and it actually goes around a golf course that's in the middle of Stanley Park, and I wanted to search for colour because it has got brighter. I wanted a colour shot, an autumnal shot. So I've been searching in this area because there's a good variation of trees. A lot of the leaves have fallen, so I've been looking closer to the ground to see if I can find a composition. Now the composition that I've found here, I'm under this tree, and it's littered with all different coloured leaves that have fallen from it. We've got oranges, we've got greens, we've got yellows. So I wanted to take an image where we've got a specific area where it's full of colour and those details. Now the difficulty you find with locations like this, because of the shot I want to go for, I want to try and fill it with interest. So I don't want no missing leaves, I don't want no gaps where you can see the soil underneath. I want a thick concentration of the leaves and all that colour. Now I'm not a one for moving leaves, you know, you probably put a leaf over the soil, but I can't do that because when I come to edit in post, I know that I placed that leaf there, and that's just something that goes against the grain with me. So I'll just simply move on till I find an area where I've got a good covering of leaves. Now I've found at the base of the tree itself there's more of those leaves than there is on the outer edges, so a lot of the leaves have gathered, whether it's been wind, but they seem to have gathered more at the base. So I've actually located an area which is ideal. It's got loads of interest, there's no gaps, you can't see the soil underneath. 1 to 400 at 100 mil. I've levelled off the camera as level as I can. I'm just going to take one shot because the leaves are pretty flat. Because it rained the other day, they seem to have flattened. It seems to have flattened the leaves, and it looks great on the back camera. It'll either make a square crop or the 16:9. I might choose both, but I'll decide when I get back. Now I have put the polarizer on because it has got a bit brighter. I want to deepen those colours. There's no bright highlights in there, but I want to deepen the colours that are there. So I'm going to get back, get this shot, and I hope you like it. in the distance up ahead I came across these amazing colours in the trees. We've got some lovely oranges, some yellows, some greens. We've got some nice dark contrast of the branches leading over this trail. Now I want to completely discard the trails of no interest. I'm not keen on trails that lead into shots. What I want to focus in on is the colour, the detail and all that interest that I've got in the image. Now I don't want any highlights in the background, I want it to be nice and balanced. It's all about the colour that I want to photograph here, and I think it'll make for a really nice image. So I'm going to take this with the 1:400 with the polarizer on. I'm going to shoot at f11 ISO 250 just to stop any movement. There is slight movement there, so I want to make sure that I stop any movement. I'm just going to take the one shot. I want the background to fall off nicely and just concentrate on the leading branches with all that colour. Goes to show when you're walking the trails what you come across, and what really stood out to us about this was obviously the contrast of the dark branches and the colour surrounding those branches. So that's something always to look out for, and I just love the way it sweeps over from right to left and then it climbs up into the colour of the orange above. So I'm going to get this shot, and I hope you like it. Well guys, as you'll probably be able to see, we've lost a lot of the light now. The sun's more or less set, and it's been an absolute fabulous day. I've really enjoyed myself. You know, started off on the edge of Stanley Park. We managed to get down to the coast and grab an image before that tide came all the way in, and then I ventured back into Stanley Park and I've come away with some images that I was really pleased with. So I'm looking forward to getting back to see how they look when I get home. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. That's going to be all for me from Stanley Park for today. It's been absolutely wonderful having you along. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Thanks for all the comments on my last video, which was my 100th, and I hope to bring you many more. So from me and Stanley Park, until next time, thanks for watching. Bye bye.